certainly am pleased with the second half. If we play with that type of defensive activity, energy, and intention, we got a chance to be a competitive team in our league. What we got to decide is that we're going to be that way every night for 40 minutes. And I think when this team makes that conscious decision that's the most important, they want to be good, but when they make the conscious decision that's the most important thing is for our team to figure that out, then we are going to be good. We can't be a light switch team. We can't be a team that turns it on and turns it off. And in the first half, the light switch wasn't on. And that was really disappointing. Again, am I glad that we responded and found a way? Heck yeah, there's no doubt about that. And I told them that in the locker room. But we got to decide that we're going to be the way we were in the second half, every second of every possession. In the league we're going to and the games that we're about to start playing, that's going to give us a chance. It don't mean that we're going to win, but that's going to give us a dang chance. But if we play the way we did in the first half, it don't matter who we play against, where we're going, we're not going to have a chance. And so I'm pleased that we responded in the second half. There's a lot of things that were positive there, and I'm really disappointed in how we played in the first half. And that's about it.
John said you didn't talk much about defense at halftime. Was that more of like, you guys know that wasn't good enough, figure it out?
Yeah, I think for this is my 13th year. Sometimes you lose count. You've been doing it so dang long. But I think the majority of my career, if we played a half like that, any team I've coached, I go in there and yell and scream and break things and act like an idiot. And I didn't do that today. I walked in there. We talked about the zone a little bit because I thought that they hadn't played. They played 20 possessions of zone the whole season until tonight, and 10 of them were in one game against UT Martin. So as a staff, we had talked about it, and we played a little zone against each other in practice the last 2 days. So it wasn't like we hadn't prepared, but it's not like we were going to this game expecting to play a ton of zone. So we were a little shell-shocked by that. They did a nice job. They prepared for a couple of our main zone actions from last week. So we talked about that a little bit, talked about sharing the ball because the ball wasn't popping around in the first half. And maybe a couple other details offensively, and then just kind of looked at him and was like, 11 deflections is what we had him for in the first half. The stuff we value, we're not doing. We lost 4 straight 4-minute games. Like we won the first. I mean, it's like we got to make. Like I got no adjustments here. Like we got to make a conscious decision. We come out double the post, we don't rotate. So because we're not alert. So then you go play the post one-on-one and you're not alert, you're getting crushed on back cuts and back doors and fan outs. It's like it doesn't matter what we do strategically if we don't play hard and play with intention and activity and communication. It don't matter what we do. Come out, play 2-3 zone, give up a layup. Play 1-3-1, give up a layup. I mean, it's not about strategy. Sometimes it's about 5 guys deciding they want to sit down, guard, be alive, and have some intention. And we don't have guys that dog it, but that's not what's expected in the first half when you put this jersey on, guys. And I told him I'd said it more concisely than I've said it to you guys. We just got to decide that we care about defending and doing the little stuff. And I guess I will say this: I really appreciate our fans because when we started defending and playing with energy and activity, our fans responded. That's like praise the acts you want repeated. That's one thing I learned when I started getting into coaching. It's not just about telling them what they're not doing. You praise the acts that you want people to repeat. So when our fans started cheering their butts off because we were playing hard and getting our hands on balls and getting stops, I went, thank goodness, because they like to be cheered for. They do. They're human beings. They like it when people cheer for their butt, and they're cheering for them for the right reasons. So I was actually, I appreciated our fans getting into it when we started playing the right way. That helps us.
Coach, it seemed like Josh Reed played really well in that second half defensively. Can you just describe the impact he gave you guys at that end of the floor?
Yeah, the first half, I said this on my radio show. We get in there at halftime as a staff, and like anybody that was watching that game's talking about why the heck we can't guard anybody. So we're talking about it as a staff. It's not rocket science. I mean, that's the first thing I want. You guys kidding me? They score 40 and shoot 55%. I think that's what it was, if I remember right. 58. Yeah, thanks. Worse than I even thought. But they score 40, shoot 58. we got 11 deflections. I mean, we had no activity, and so we're sitting there talking about it. I looked down. I said, "Why did we play Josh only? Who's the stupid head coach that only played Josh 4 minutes? Because he was the damn best defensive player." And I thought about starting him coming out of halftime, but Dan had also had great energy to compete in the first half. I thought he was the one guy that had great energy in the first half. It was obvious. So we said, we're gonna start Dan, go a little smaller, which I thought would help us with our activity, and then bring Josh in right away. And boy, was he good in the second half, guys. I mean, he was defending. He got his hands on balls. He held his ground in the post. And then it's amazing. You play the right way and do the right things, and all of a sudden the ball goes in for you. I mean, then all of a sudden he makes 2 big threes. Like, it's amazing how the basketball gods reward that kind of stuff. So I was really pleased with Josh's play tonight. He was the catalyst for our team.
Evansville gets 13 free throws. John said, you kind of emphasize that it's a personal battle and that there's another man in front of you and those kind of things. Did you see progress in that tonight, or was it kind of the defensive lapses in the first half just led to not a lot of fouls?
No, I thought we, in the second half, defended the ball significantly better. I thought we contested shots. I mean, how many we block? I don't have a count in my head, but
8.
they have us for 8 blocks in the game. I mean, how many of them were like the primary defender blocking the shot? I mean, that's contesting better. I mean, I want to say 5 or 6 was the primary. Vic had 2, right? Coming to help down. I mean, 4 or 5 were the primary defenders, so you're contesting shots better. You're doing it without fouling. You guys, if you think I didn't realize that teams shot 28 and 30 free throws against us in 2 of our last 3 games coming to the night, I promise you, I might not be the smartest, but I ain't stupid. Like, we've been emphasizing the hell out of finishing the D and with discipline and practice, contesting, but doing it without committing silly fouls. We got some habits we got to break, and again, I thought there was some good steps there in the second half tonight.
Day Thomas has 10 points, struggles shooting from the floor, but just really active everywhere else, and had, I think it was his first multiple block and multiple steal game here at Cincinnati. Did you see a kind of elevated level of intensity, and he was also able to kind of break down that zone a little bit more in the second half?
Ball pursuit, the hands, activity. Like, I thought in the second half that, there's a bunch of loose balls in the first half, and we're not quick to them. I mean, it was like, I'm like, guys, sometimes being the coach is like sitting in the stands. Like, I can't go out and get the damn loose ball. I see what y'all see. Like, hopefully I see a little bit more. But, I mean, it's like balls bouncing around, and you're like, y'all kidding me? Like, and that just comes because you're not alert and ready. You're not moving to the basketball defensively. You're not out there to make defensive plays. And I thought Day made a bunch of those defensive plays, whether they were steals. It all starts because he got active, started moving the ball, doing the little things, and defensive rebound. Like, you kind of saw that tonight. So I want his decision making to continue to improve. And I told him that in a couple of timeouts. I thought he missed some guys or over penetrated a little bit, but I thought his activity and energy was phenomenal, especially in the second half.
Scott, the Trucks.
You had 2 guys out. They had 2 guys out. First off, what are the chances of your 2 being back in a week? And then secondly, how does that mess up your scouting when their 2 best scorers are out? Does it play a part in the game at all, psychologically or anything?
I can't speak to what it does to other teams. I can tell you that when we found out when those 2 walked out tonight, and one of them is a reserve off the bench. It's a freshman. I think he's their second leading scorer on the year, but he's a freshman that he plays with a lot of confidence and freedom. And he's certainly somebody we talked about in the scouting report. And then obviously their leading scorer, who's a terrific shooter and really makes them dangerous offensively, was out. So, we find out when you guys find out. We walk out for one, assistant runs back and goes, "Coach, there's 2 guys that are in street clothes. One of them's in a boot, one of them's in a cast." And for us, it's simple. First time we see the guys in the locker room, we cross them off the scouting report on the board, and we add a couple guys that we think may play that we didn't cover, and give our guys a couple details on them, and then we move on, right? If we had some kind of game plan based on one of those guys, that would be off, but we just kind of move on. I can't tell you how they approach it. In terms of, I think you asked about next week, I'm going to be really forthcoming with injury stuff this year. I've made a commitment to my staff and my team. I'm not going to play any kind of games or stuff. I just think there's too many outside things in college basketball with injuries that I just want to keep information clear to everybody. So, it's just the way it is now. There's a lot of things that scare you as a coach that you can't control. So we're not playing any injury games. So I'll tell you what I know. And what I know is Aziz worked out today. He got a sweat. It was the first time I saw him move. I wouldn't say 100%, but it's the first time I saw him get up and dunk the ball and move with a little bit of pop. He has not done that yet since the Dayton game. I mean, I think it's been hard for him to get out of bed, that type of thing. So I think he's trending in the right direction. It's a back. I can't tell you if he's going to be able to. I don't think he'll practice tomorrow, but I can't tell you what it'll look like in a week. You guys know I want him back as soon as I possibly can get him back without putting him in any kind of jeopardy. And then CJ's a hamstring. He's completely shut down, no activity right now. If we played 5, 6, 7 days from now, I would say there's no way, but it's just how quickly does that hamstring heal, and then we got to get him back in like a return to play thing. We're not going to just get it healed and throw him out there. So that's Mike Rayfeld, Bob Mangine, Dr. Donaldworth. It's our medical staff that's going to determine that. But CJ's not even. He's doing zero. He's completely shut down right now. So I think we got a ways to go with him.
2 more.
18.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Wes, they go on a 10-0 run, crowd is booing. You mentioned the cheers earlier, but the crowd was booing late first half. You call timeout. What's your message there to the team?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd heard that. Now, I'd have been booing too if I could damn boo. I was probably booing in my own coaching way, so you should boo that. It was terrible. But, no, I mean, I've probably come a long way. Like, I'm trying to get better and grow every damn year. I love trying to get better, just like we asked the players to do. And I probably lost my mind and yelled and screamed, and I didn't do that tonight. I just tried to point out the things that we had to do, because I think these are really good kids that want to be good. I just think they're still learning what it takes to be good. And so it's not about yelling and screaming, because it's not like they don't want to be good or they don't want to perform. It's about trying to teach them. And I'm not very damn patient, but I'm trying to do a good job of coaching in those moments.
Evansville's been one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the country, and 18 offensive rebounds. Maybe not as many second chance points as you like, but they have to be satisfied with at least their effort on the offensive glass throughout the game.
And I want more. I mean, we're rebounding the ball well statistically, and every time somebody points that out to me, I go, damn, I think we can get better there. I think this could be a great rebounding team. Jamil Reynolds, and I think the world of him, guys. I'm having so much fun coaching him because the talent's incredible, and he wants to be good, and he comes to work every day, and I just think it's coming. He's just got some habits. He's not even crashing the board like I know he's capable of, and he's trying. But when he gets the habit of how to defeat a box out and go, I mean, oh boy. So I think we can get even better there. I really do, and I think there's some other big time categories we could improve in as well.
It's coach.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.